Have you ever wondered why some people live into their 90s with a strong heart, while others face a heart attack just after retirement? It's not just genetics, and it's definitely not luck. It's daily choices. Imagine this. Two people, both 65, retired the same year, same town, similar health. One started each morning with a short walk, drank water before coffee, added leafy greens to his lunch, checked his blood pressure every weekend. The other, he said he felt fine, didn't see a doctor, watched TV all day, skipped breakfast, added extra salt without thinking. 10 years later, the first one is still active, walking his grandkids to school. The second suffered a silent heart attack at 72. These are not random stories. This is real life, and it happens every single day. The truth is, your risk of heart attack nearly doubles after age 65. But what no one tells you is this: it's not your age that causes heart disease. It's what you do or fail to do every single day after 65 that determines your future. I'm Dr. Eric Topol, and in this video, I'll show you 10 daily habits that could literally save your life. No medication, no expensive treatment, just science-backed actions that strengthen your heart and extend your life. Let's get started. Of all the habits that protect your heart, the most underestimated is also the simplest: staying hydrated. Most people think of water as a basic need, something we reach for when we're hot or after a walk. But after age 65, hydration becomes a matter of survival, especially for your heart. You see, as we age, our body's natural thirst response weakens. Seniors often say, "I'm not thirsty," but by the time thirst kicks in, dehydration is already affecting the body. And the first organ to suffer, the heart. When you're even mildly dehydrated, your blood becomes thicker, more viscous. That means your heart has to pump harder to circulate it, increasing strain on the arteries and raising the risk of clot formation, high blood pressure, and even stroke. Think of your blood like traffic on a freeway. When there's enough fluid, everything flows. When it's thick, everything slows and blockages happen. And the truth is, many heart attacks begin with poor circulation built silently over time. Drinking water isn't just about avoiding fatigue or dry skin. It's about keeping your blood clean, your arteries smooth, and your heart relaxed. I've seen patients who dramatically reduce their blood pressure and improve circulation simply by committing to 6 to 8 glasses of water per day. Start your day with a warm glass before coffee, not after. Carry a refillable bottle with you, and don't wait for thirst. If your urine is dark yellow, your heart is already working harder than it should. This one habit practiced daily could make the difference between a healthy aging heart and a silent threat building within. If you're over 65 and you still smoke even just once in a while, I need to tell you this plainly: your heart is paying the price, whether you feel it or not. Decades of research have shown that tobacco is one of the most damaging substances for the cardiovascular system, and its effects don't stop just because you've reached retirement age. In fact, your blood vessels become more fragile as you get older. Your arteries naturally stiffen, and your body becomes less efficient at healing. Adding cigarette smoke to that equation, even secondhand smoke, creates a perfect storm for a heart attack. I've treated patients who were active, ate well, even walked daily, but kept a small smoking habit just to relax. Years later, they ended up in the ER with a blocked artery and didn't see it coming. What's more, if you quit smoking years ago, good. That decision has already added time to your life. But the damage isn't entirely gone. The heart, however, is forgiving. Within weeks of quitting, your blood pressure begins to drop. Within months, your circulation improves. Within a year, your risk of heart disease drops dramatically. And if you've never smoked, that doesn't mean you're safe. Breathing in secondhand smoke, especially in a closed space like your car or home, increases your heart risk just the same. So protect yourself. Make your living space smoke-free. Encourage loved ones to step outside if they smoke. Join a support group if quitting feels overwhelming, because every cigarette avoided is a step toward healing, a gift to your heart and to every heartbeat that still lies ahead. One of the greatest gifts you can give your heart after age 65 isn't a pill, it's movement. Daily, intentional, gentle movement. The kind that tells your heart, "I still care." The human heart is a muscle, and just like your legs or arms, it gets stronger the more you use it. But here's what most seniors don't realize. You don't need high-impact exercise. You don't need a treadmill or a gym membership. What your heart needs is consistency. A simple 30-minute walk each day around your block at the park or even inside the house can improve your circulation, lower your blood pressure balance, blood sugar, and reduce inflammation. Movement keeps your blood from pooling, reduces your risk of clots, and helps oxygen reach every corner of your body. I've watched patients in their 70s and even 80s regain energy, sleep better, and even reduce medication just by making walking a daily ritual. And if walking isn't possible due to joint pain or balance issues, there are chair exercises, light stretching routines, or water aerobics. The key is not intensity, it's showing up for your heart each day. Don't let long hours of sitting become the norm. Set a timer to stand up every hour, stretch, or walk a few steps. Your heart wasn't meant to be still all day. It beats to keep you alive. Give it the movement it needs to stay strong. Because every step you take isn't just for your legs, it's a step away from your next heart event, and a step closer to a longer, fuller life. Salt may seem harmless, just a sprinkle here, a dash there, but after age 65, too much of it becomes a silent threat to your heart. I often tell my patients salt doesn't make noise, but it leaves a trace in your blood pressure, in your arteries, and eventually in the hospital records we wish we didn't have to write. The problem is that as we get older, our kidneys become less efficient at removing excess sodium. That means salt lingers in the bloodstream, pulling in water, expanding your blood volume, and putting extra pressure on the walls of your arteries. This leads to high blood pressure, and over time hardens your arteries, a recipe for heart attacks and strokes. And it's not just the salt you add at the table. It's the salt hiding in canned soups, frozen dinners, sauces, deli meats, snack chips, and even bread. Most seniors consume far more sodium than they realize, not because they eat salty foods, but because processed foods do the salting for them. That's why I encourage everyone over 60 to become a label reader. Look for low sodium, or under 140 milligrams per serving. Aim to keep total sodium below 500 milligrams per day. That's just about 2/3 of a teaspoon. Season meals with herbs, lemon, garlic, turmeric, not the salt shaker. And remember, your taste buds adjust. What feels bland today may taste just right in a few weeks, but your arteries, they won't adjust. They'll keep thickening quietly until one day they can't deliver the blood your heart desperately needs. You can stop that process now. One less pinch of salt could mean one more year with your loved ones. Choose flavor, but choose life first. Just because you feel fine doesn't mean your heart is fine. That's one of the hardest truths I've had to share with patients, often too late. Heart disease doesn't always announce itself with pain or warning signs. Sometimes it builds quietly, silently, year after year, until one day the damage becomes impossible to ignore. That's why regular screenings are not optional. After 65, they're essential. In fact, for many seniors, a basic checkup has saved their life. I've had patients who looked healthy, stayed active, and had no symptoms yet. A routine test revealed dangerously high blood pressure, abnormal cholesterol, or silent arrhythmias. The good news is these problems can often be treated early, long before they become emergencies. So here's what I recommend. Have your blood pressure checked at least once every few months, even at home. Schedule an annual blood test to monitor your cholesterol, triglycerides, and fasting glucose. And if you have a family history of heart disease, diabetes, or stroke, ask your doctor if you need an ECG or a stress test. These tests are quick, non-invasive, and in many cases covered by Medicare. They're not about fear, they're about control. They give you and your doctor the insight you need to make smart decisions. Remember, prevention is not passive, it's proactive. It means showing up for your health even when nothing feels wrong. The heart doesn't always speak loudly, but screenings allow us to listen before it's too late. If you value your independence, your energy, your years ahead, then value your checkups. Because the strongest hearts aren't always the ones that beat the loudest, they're the ones that are cared for consistently. Stress doesn't just weigh on your mind, it wears down your heart day after day, silently and steadily. I've seen it countless times. Patients in their late 60s or 70s who eat well, take their medications, even walk regularly, but carry a constant invisible weight. Whether it's financial worry, loneliness, grief, or simply the overwhelming pace of life, chronic stress floods the body with hormones like cortisol and adrenaline. These chemicals in small bursts are helpful, but when they stay elevated, they tighten your arteries, raise your blood pressure, and increase inflammation throughout your cardiovascular system. Over time, this can lead to arrhythmias, plaque buildup, and even trigger heart attacks, all without a single moment of chest pain or warning. That's why managing stress is not a luxury. It's a daily prescription for your heart. Start simple. Try 5 minutes of deep breathing in the morning, in through your nose, out through your mouth slowly. Take a short walk in nature if you can, or sit quietly with a cup of herbal tea and just listen to calming music. Talk to someone you trust, a friend, a spouse, a counselor. Don't hold it all in. Even writing down 3 things you're grateful for each evening can shift your mind from tension to peace. And avoid stimulating, upsetting content before bedtime. What your brain sees, your heart feels. The truth is, stress may be invisible, but its damage is not. And while you can't control everything around you, you can create moments of calm within. Those small moments repeated daily are how your heart recovers, rebuilds, and stays resilient, no matter your age. Even if you've never been diagnosed with diabetes, keeping your blood sugar in check after age 65 is one of the most important things you can do to protect your heart. That's because elevated glucose quietly damages the inner lining of your blood vessels, the very highways that carry oxygen and nutrients to your heart. Over time, high blood sugar leads to inflammation, plaque, buildup, and stiffening of the arteries, setting the stage for heart attacks and strokes. I've treated patients who had no idea their glucose was high. They felt tired, a bit foggy, maybe thirsty more than usual, and they brushed it off as just getting older. But when we tested their A1C or fasting glucose, the numbers told another story. The good news is you can take control starting today. Begin by reducing refined carbohydrates, white bread, sugary drinks, pastries, and replacing them with whole grains, leafy greens, berries, beans, and fiber-rich foods. Include healthy fats like avocado and nuts, and lean proteins like chicken or salmon to stabilize your blood sugar throughout the day. Practice portion control, smaller plates, slower bites, more mindful eating. One of the most powerful underrated habits, taking a 10 to 15-minute walk after meals. That small effort helps your muscles use glucose more efficiently, lowering post-meal spikes. If you're on medication, follow your doctor's instructions closely. But remember, no drug can replace daily discipline. Stable blood sugar doesn't just prevent diabetes, it protects your arteries, your brain, your energy, and your heart. And in the quiet of your everyday routine, choosing water over soda, walking after lunch, skipping that cookie, you're quietly building a future with more years, more clarity, and more life. Cholesterol doesn't cause pain. It doesn't make noise. You can't feel it climbing, but it may be the single biggest threat to your heart if left unchecked. Especially after age 65, when your body naturally becomes less efficient at processing fats high, LDL cholesterol begins to quietly build up in your arteries. Like layers of sludge lining a pipe, this buildup narrows your vessels and restricts blood flow to your heart. Over time, it can lead to plaque rupture, blood clots, and the very thing we fear most, a heart attack that seems to come out of nowhere. I've seen it far too often. Patients who look healthy, eat reasonably well, and feel fine until one test or one emergency reveals the damage that's been building for years. But here's the empowering truth: you can take action now. Schedule a lipid panel every year to monitor your LDL bad cholesterol and HDL good cholesterol. Ideally, keep LDL below 100 mg/dl and HDL above 60. But numbers alone aren't enough. Your daily habits matter most. Avoid fried foods, red meat, and full-fat dairy. Instead, choose heart-healthy staples: oats, olive oil, salmon, walnuts, flax seeds, leafy greens. Small, consistent changes make a real difference. Add chia seeds to your breakfast. Swap out butter for olive oil. Grill instead of fry. And if lifestyle alone doesn't move the numbers, don't be afraid to discuss statins or other medication with your doctor. They're tools, not weaknesses. Managing cholesterol is not about restriction. It's about protection. Every balanced meal, every smart substitution, every annual checkup is your way of keeping your arteries clear, your heart strong, and your future wide open. High blood pressure has earned its nickname for a reason. It truly is the silent killer. It doesn't hurt. It doesn't cause obvious symptoms. But behind the scenes, it's quietly damaging your arteries, stressing your heart, impairing kidney function, and even increasing your risk of cognitive decline. And after the age of 65, your chances of developing hypertension increase significantly due to changes in blood vessel elasticity and hormonal regulation. I've met patients who told me, "Doctor, I feel fine. I've never had high blood pressure." Yet when we checked, their numbers were dangerously elevated and they had no idea. That's why I say this with complete urgency. Don't rely on how you feel. Rely on your numbers. Use a home blood pressure monitor. They're easy to use and remarkably accurate. Aim to check your BP once or twice a week, especially if you're already on medication or have a history of heart disease. Ideally, your blood pressure should stay below 120/80 mmHg. Anything consistently above 130/80 should be discussed with your physician. And if you see occasional spikes, don't panic, but pay attention. Track the patterns, make lifestyle adjustments, reduce sodium, lose excess weight, limit alcohol and caffeine, and make stress management a daily priority. Even something as simple as deep breathing for 5 minutes can bring numbers down naturally. Remember, the real danger isn't the one high reading, it's ignoring the warning signs over time. Checking your blood pressure regularly is one of the simplest, most powerful habits you can adopt. It takes less than a minute, but it could give you years. Years to move freely, love deeply, and live fully with a heart that's not just beating, but thriving. The single most powerful habit you can adopt to protect your heart after 65 isn't just drinking more water or eating more greens, it's showing up for your heart every single day. Consistency is the real medicine. I've seen this truth again and again. 2 patients with the same diagnosis, one follows advice for a week, skips it. The next promises to start again soon. The other makes small, steady changes, walks every morning, checks their blood pressure twice a week, says no to the salt shaker, yes to sleep and stretching. 5 years later, their outcomes are worlds apart. Because heart disease doesn't strike out of nowhere, it builds quietly through years of tiny, repeated decisions. But here's the good news, healing can happen the same way. Your heart doesn't need perfection, it needs commitment. The strength of your heart is shaped not by dramatic overhauls, but by everyday discipline. By the moments when you choose a glass of water instead of soda. When you go for a short walk even when you're tired. When you prepare a homemade meal instead of grabbing takeout. These aren't big things, but they're everything. They're how blood pressure stays stable, arteries stay clear, and your energy stays high. Aging doesn't mean giving up. It means becoming wiser, more intentional, more protective of the years you've earned. So today, don't wait for motivation. Don't wait for a scare. Make your heart a priority now and keep showing up for it one quiet, powerful day at a time. Your heart is not asking for miracles. It's asking for moments, repeated, intentional, daily moments where you choose to care for it. You don't need a perfect lifestyle, a strict diet, or hours at the gym. What matters most is showing up with small, consistent actions that speak louder than good intentions. Drink the water. Take the walk. Breathe deeply when stress rises. Choose real food over fast food. Check your numbers even when you feel fine. These habits aren't glamorous, they're not flashy, but they are powerful and they add up. As a cardiologist, I've watched lives change not through one big decision, but through hundreds of tiny ones. And that's the message I want you to take with you. Your heart is built on the choices you make when no one is watching. So whether you're 65, 75, or 85, it's not too late. Every day is a new chance to strengthen your heart and extend your life. Not just for yourself, but for the people who love you. Because staying healthy isn't just about living longer, it's about living better, fuller, and with the energy to enjoy the years you've earned. Start small, start today, and keep going one heartbeat at a time.